Guys, we have a shorted circuit. The shorted circuit, I told you that the basic circuit is this one. Always you will find the IC MOSFETs, coil ICs. This is the input, my friends. Here we have the input basically, okay? Here we have the output, okay? Once we remove this inductor, we find out that the input is good, serviceable, good. The short is in this side, okay. But the problem for us in this side is that we have 4 ceramic capacitors that could be shorted, but we have a pad or a bridge that is connected to the motherboard, 5 points in the motherboard. This is the problem. So that's why we should remove this pad in order to isolate the short. Let's do it right now, my friends. I will remove this one, guys. Okay, I will remove this one and check this capacitor. Remember, the capacitor here are shorted. For the last time, my friends, for the last time, sorry, because for me, the repetition is the most important gift we have. Here, no short. When we remove this one, the short is gone. But here we have the short, still short. All these are shorted. Let's remove this one and find out if the short will disappear here or not. Let's do it. For me now, I remove just the inductor, the coil, and I separate. I remove just the coil and I find the short in this side. So all those are good. I don't touch any one of this. Okay? Just the coil. Now I will not touch anything here. I will just remove the pad. So this process will help you remain this compound good. You will not touch anything. Okay, let's find out. Now the pad is removed. Okay, this one is removed here. Means if I find the shorts still in this point, means one of these are the shorted. But if the short is gone, means the short in the motherboard. We will do another job in the motherboard. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see, my friends. Okay, the multimeter. I have the multimeter here. Please like the video, my friend. We have the multimeter. To continuity option, let's find out. The black probe here in the ground. Let's check. Are you ready? The pad is removed. I hope is removed. Yes. Let's see, my friend. Here we find no. We have no short. Good, because we removed the inductor here. Oh, the short is still here. No. Let's see. Oh, we have 10. What is this? Nice. Let's see, my friend. Nice, we have 9. Here, 9 in this side. 0, because here connected to the ground. Guys, here is connected to the ground. Do you see? We have electrolytic capacitor. Okay. Do you see, my friends? After removing the pad, I get here 9. Do you see? I get 9, my friend. The 9 basically is another reading. I will explain to you guys. After removing the pad, we get here 9. Do you see? We get 9 in the multimeter. Means what? Means, my friend, that these ceramic capacitors are not shorted, because 9 is not a short. 9, my friend, basically is not a short in the motherboard. If we check, for example, the processor, my friend, here, look, if I check the inductors next to the processor, we have 3. 3 is not a short. This one, we have 3, 2 is not a short. Means these ceramic capacitors are not shorted, my friend. I should not remove it. These capacitors are not shorted. Where is the schematic? Guys, I find here using the multimeter 0. But after removing the part, I find 0.9. Like this. Reading. Means the serum capacitors are good. Means the short is in this side. Let's find out if this is right or not. How? I'll show you how. Let's move on, my friends. Where? Let's move on to the parts. Okay. If I check this side, I have 9. Good. But if I check this side, 0. Oh, I like the process. This side, 9. But this side, 0. Amazing. Amazing, my friend. Means the short is not in the side. Tell me, please, tell me the truth. Tell me, please, my friend, the truth. If you encounter like this kind of short, tell me the truth, please, in the comment. If you encounter like this kind of short, and you have this one is connected, okay, this one is connected here, and you have the short everywhere, tell me, will you remove this MOSFETs, this ceramic capacitors or not? Tell me the truth. After, before now in this process, will you remove those and also remove those and also the IC or not? Tell me the truth before now in this process. Finding the short using just the multimeter and the process and isolate the short by removing the fewer or fewest component. Until now, I just remove in the circuit, I remove 2 components. I have a lot of component here. I remove just the inductor and the pad. The pad is not a component. Okay? 2 components, and I find that the problem is not here. The problem either is not here, the problem in the side. Of course, you can remove first the pad, but why I remove the inductor? Because the majority of shorts are in the circuits. Here we have outside the circuit. Here we have outside the circuit. Okay, my friend? From the pad to this side, this is outside the circuit. We have short inside the circuit. We find the short here inside the circuit, so we began always short here. But in this case, no. The short one is in the outside. We will use the same process for many motherboards. I have here a lot of motherboards. Of course, I have shorted motherboards here, a lot of shorted motherboards. We will use the same process, and you will find and you will understand and you will learn the power of this process. You will learn the power of this process in the other motherboard. This one will find the short outside. Means we need more time. Not more time, but we need the the part B in the process. This is basically the process. This is the part A here in the process. Okay. Now in the side we will go with part B of the process. Another amazing process, signal process. In order, don't worry, my friend, don't worry. Even if this part is huge, we have the motherboard here. Don't worry, we have the process, the shortcut. Always we use the shortcut. Okay. Now we will deal with this side. Okay, we will deal with this side. How to deal with this side? We should be smart in order to do not waste time. Guys, I know that many of you will wonder why you don't use the thermal camera or the voltage injector and just find the short without wasting time like this. I'm agree with you, my friend. I'm agree with you. This is how the majority think. But I told you that if someone told you the thermal camera, let's assume, for example, this is the thermal camera. I use the thermal camera. I find out that, for example, this thermal capacitor is overheated. I will replace it. Oh, nice. It is the shorted component. Good. Let's assemble the laptop, send it, I don't know, to the customer or just assemble it. Did you understand something? Did you understand something, my friend, by finding the ceramic capacitor in the first minute or even in the 20-minute failed one? No, you didn't understand something. Even if you get the same board shorted, you will not find this one shorted. You will find this one is shorted. Another motherboard, the same board, you will find another component shorted. Means you didn't understand the process. Because the motherboard, we have here hundreds of components. One motherboard, 5 motherboards, same motherboards, shorted, you will find the components are different. So, just you eat the fish. You didn't understand. Now, let's move on without wasting time. Let's move on directly. Let's use the multimeter. And now, I have to find those points here, because as I told you, we find here we have 0, we have 9, and this side we have 0. Means the short is in this side. So I have to find here. These points are connected to which part in the motherboard. Okay? So I have to find these dots are connected to which circuits or parts in the motherboard. If we check this one, 0 as you can see. Guys, here, so we have to locate to go in the back. We have to go back because we have short in this side. We have to go back. If I go back here, remember these 2 points. Remember these 2 holes here. Okay, I will put this one here. This one here, like this. If I go back like this, okay, we are here. We are here, my friends. Okay, ground here. Okay, here we have the IC here. Okay, we have the IC. The 5 points basically are here. The 5 point, look my friends, look here. Do you see this point? We have 1, 2, 3. Let me check. Yes. Here we have 5 points, my friends. One of these points, my friends, okay, let's trace this, is located, as you can see. Do you see? If we trace this one like this, okay, like this, okay, we have another 2 points here, and we have this point here. I will put this one here, in this, and check the other side. Okay. What we have in the other side, basically, we have this component. Okay, my friend? We have this component. If I check this component, okay, if I check this thermal capacitor, for example, shorted in this side, nice, shorted here, okay. Let's check those also. No. Good. Good one. This one. Good. Good. In one side shorted. In one side no. Those good. In one side no. In one side no. This one shorted in both sides. This one, guys, shorted in both sides. Okay, let's track this. Let's see this one. Also shorted in both sides. This one shorted in both sides. This one both sides. This one both sides. Nice. All cell capacitors here are shorted. Do you see? Because my friend, as I told you here, basically the circuit is for the RAM. This side means the motherboard, but here we have, of course, the RAM circuit. This is the RAM circuit. So just I show you the difficulty of the short and how to fix it easily. Do you see, my friend? You find all cell capacitors in the RAM are shorted. Here, guys, here, my friends, pay attention now. The problem is done. The problem is 100% fixed, repaired. How? Look, my friends, all capacitors here are shorted. Okay, here, you see? And the RAM chip is not connected. The RAM chip is not connected. For beginner, of course, I will show you everything. For beginners, just for beginners, the RAM chip is not connected. If the RAM chip, for example, is connected here, I have to remove it. But the RAM chip is not connected. It's not connected, and we get all ceramic capacitors are shorted here. Means what? In one minute, I will show you the shorted problem. Means what? When you get this kind of problem is outside the circuit, okay, you find like this, the RAM chip is not here, so what should be shorted? Means the short is the RAM slot. The short is in the RAM slot. If we have a RAM chip, it could be shorted, but once the RAM chip is disconnected, means the short is in the RAM slot. If we check, guys, let's check this RAM slot. Let's check the RAM slots. If we check it, we have to find a short here, means pins that are shorted or damaged. Oh, yes, in this side, of course. Okay, do you see, guys? This made a short. Here is the short problem. Okay. Here we have a damaged pins. We have a damaged pins over here, guys. Means the short could be here. Let's even check one probe in the ground and check using the multimeter. Let's check 0. All these pins are shorted. All pins are shorted. Okay. Damaged slot. So, guys, damaged slot. We found damaged slot. Okay, let me try to clean a little bit here. Guys, we have a shorter slot. The slot is shorted for this board. We have a shorted slot. Okay, this board has a shorted slot. I will begin with you another board in order to confirm this process. Even we can check 3 boards or 5 boards, no problem, until you understand the process. So guys, for this short, we use the schematic, we use the process, we find all these components good. The most important, I teach you how to avoid removing component like this randomly. Always remove the inductor. If you have a part, remove it, my friends, and the short will be here. If outside like this, if you have the motherboard, if you have the RAM here, means the RAM chip or the RAM slots. If you have the CPU is the output, means the short is the CPU. If you have the chipset in the output, means the short is the chipset. Guys, I hope that you understand the process. Unfortunately, we don't find any component here. We find outside, but we find the slots. Also guys, the CPU socket for all the motherboards could be shorted. Do you know, guys? The CPU circuit sometimes some technicians they don't pay attention to the CPU socket. They don't pay attention to the CPU socket. Guys, sometimes you can find also the CPU socket is shorted. Not just component. It could be CPU socket. It could be the slot in this case. So we gonna see another motherboard, even 2 motherboards or 3 motherboards, and we're gonna use the same process until you understand the process 100%. Okay, my friends? Yes, slot can be changed. Yes, can be changed, of course. Yes, everything can be changed in the motherboard. And of course, we're gonna continue with another motherboard, shorted motherboard. We're gonna use the same process 2 times, 3 times, even 4 times until you master the short circuit process without thermal camera, without voltage injector. And of course, guys, when the slot is shorted, even if you use the thermal camera and the voltage injector, you cannot find the shorts. Yes, guys. Yes. You know that if you want to remove these capacitors one by one, you will waste time or you will damage the motherboard. You will not fix the problem. You have problem with the slot. You will use the thermal camera, the voltage injector or current injector. You will not find nothing. But the process sometimes, the process is more power than voltage camera and voltage injector. I will teach you, my friend, how the voltage injection work. How? Please attention. Okay, attention please. Let's assume, for example, that we have here, let's assume that we have here the VN, okay? Then here we have a diode over here for protection. After that, we have here, for example, Q1, 2 MOSFETs, another MOSFET here, Q2, okay, my friends? And of course, here we have ceramic capacitors connected to the ground, 2 ceramic capacitors connected to the ground. Please attention, I will show you how the voltage injection or the current injection, I prefer to say current injection work. And then, for example, we have here a resistor, and then we have here, let's see, we have here an IC, and we have other ceramic capacitors, etc. Let's see, we have another ceramic capacitor connected to the ground. We have here another one here connected to the ground. Okay, my friends, and let's see, we have here a capacitor like this. Okay, and we have here a resistor, and over here we have a capacitor connected to the ground. Nice. I will show you how the voltage injector works, my friends. Basically, my friends, the voltage injector, how it works. Basically, we have the currents. Okay, the currents. The rule for the current is that the current always flow in the lowest, or the part that is not resistive. Resistive maybe low resistance, the part that has a low resistance. Let's assume, for example, we have the current here. Okay, it will pass in the side, etc. Let's assume, for example, if we have the shorted one is the diode, the current will go in this side here, but here we will get a big flow or a huge flow of current. A huge flow of current. Here, just a small current flow. Okay? Here, very huge. Means this one will be burned out, will be very hot. And then it will be, because we have the current go into low resistive path. But if this one is good, and for example, this one, for example, is the bad one, the same. Here, a little bit current, here, a little bit current, and here, a lot of current. Because this one connected to the ground, and this one will be very hot. This is how the voltage injector works. And of course, the thermal camera, you can see the hotted components.